My name is Amit, and I work for Heidelberg Cement in India. Been working here for almost 11 years now, and responsible for quite a lot of micro functions around, right from finance to treasury to power sourcing and M&A, to name a few. See, what I personally like is that not only it adds a lot of value to my kind of multitasking job role, but also add a lot of value to people on the floor or to my colleagues. We have more than 1,000 colleagues around in the country. So personally conduct a lot of training sessions. If somebody needs any help, they know there's this guy to go to. Yeah. So imparting that knowledge, it gives you a lot of self-contentness. Yeah, more like a, you can say, you feel like that you are giving it back as well. So that's the best thing that I like about learning and being a digital champion. That's a difficult one because a lot of them are quite handy, productive. But of all, I think I like Microsoft Teams, if you really ask me, because that's more like a, how do I say, it's like gateway to entire sort of ecosystem that we have today. And Teams is something that we are using the most. So within Teams, there are some sub apps like Planner, some sort of integration into Notes, etc. So I love all of them, but if you were to pick me on to the best one, then I would go with Teams, which in turn sort of helps me integrate with most of these apps. Yeah. Oh yes, a lot of apps, in fact, and I'm very practical in terms of not just learning, but put into practice. That's my first sort of go to objective. And the way I look at it is, let's say I were to share some data with whether internal or external. Generally, do not do like typical attachments or something. Rather, share links. So OneDrive is something I'm using extensively. I briefly mentioned about Planner. So that's where, I like all my tasks to be organized well across the teams so that everybody's aware of what is expected from each one of them. And you get a good, nice dashboard integrated at one place. Like that, whether it's SharePoint, organizing your documents. So I'm one of those famous guys who likes to be absolutely digital, paperless guy, you can say. So yeah, I mean, any app you call me in terms of, I start thinking that, okay, how do we improve the process? Oh, yes. So just to tell you, I'm also responsible for internal and external communications. So we were lacking for any, let's say, a common platform where we could internally communicate it, right? And then I found Yammer. Yeah. So I found it extremely good because people, they're quite used to about this, social media platforms in the private life. So this was the enterprise social media, right? And we have quite a number of facilities and people, and India is a large country in terms of length and breadth, almost from north to the southmost tip, we have some operations. And when we launched this thing, so as part of the communication team and not only digital sort of, championship, people liked it like anything. And today I see Jammer is like, one place to go for. And I personally conducted, I think, maybe a couple of dozens of sessions covering half of the population personally, more than 500 people, educating about the tips and tricks and what they should be doing about, using Yammer and spreading the good word about the organization. And obviously it's within the organization. So as it is, people leverage not only in India, but more than 50 countries that we are present in. I think it's about those, little snippets of doses that we keep on getting, which is webinars, I would say. Yeah. And these are quite tailor-made as well as public webinars. And if you have the time and wherewithal to attend all of them and pick even, the smallest part of this and put it in practice. So I always believe in, putting this back into practice because you could learn almost everything, but if you don't put it in practice, so you tend to lose a little bit. Yeah. And also the Q&A channel that we have. So sometimes you have these webinars more like one way. Okay, you could ask some questions, but when it comes to some use cases, you could actually come back to this Q&A channel, which is extremely helpful. It would sort of take you. Somebody would raise up to the occasion, saying that, oh yeah, I'm here to help you out, whether it's the organizers or your colleagues. Yeah, yeah. So that ways you get absolutely what is possible in terms of your help and very quick response, I must say. it's an amazing experience. So I already had a little bit of flavor of this, being the communication head here, but sort of reiterating and reinforcing these digital tools together with the soft tools. And in the hybrid world, when we were hit with COVID, and I think teams had just come to us in Heidelberg, and you could say I made the most out of this. You guys imparting this knowledge, especially Rob, Matt, everybody. I must say you've done a fantastic job in terms of imparting this, bit by bit, and slowly, that sweet sort of doses, like I say, they're extremely useful. So what it has also done is that now one can predict what kind of question or what kind of problem you may be in, and this is how one can resolve that, even if you've not encountered that before. I think it's the need of hour, if you really ask me. Like you mentioned briefly about hybrid world, yeah. So the entire world is moving towards digital, and the kind of progression that we have seen in last 2 years is simply unprecedented. We have never expected or heard of this kind of graduation, you can say. So it's like upskilling yourself. Now, just to tell you, out of these 1,400, if I'm not wrong, more than 20% of the population is from India. Yeah, and whereas we have a very small base. So, and being responsible for communication, I remember categorically sort of pushing people and pushing these messages continuously on Yammer, that this is a place to go for. Maybe they don't pick up everything, even a little bit of these webinars which keep coming to their calendar. Rebecca, she's done a great job together with Yammer, yeah, in inculcating this culture of learning. And a lot of my colleagues, they were very, very happy about, because you had spare time also during the COVID time to learn this thing. So it's like, an opportunity. It met the kind of, necessity that was there, right, of upskilling yourself. So that way it was like a perfect match. And a lot of people are here, they've made the most out of this.